from the Figure 4 Online Studios in beautiful Bothell, Washington, exclusively at WrestlingObserver.com. You're listening to the Bryan and Vinny Show with your hosts, Bryan Alvarez and Big Vinny V.
All right, everybody, this is Bryan and Vinny and Granny and Craig show. What's going on, everybody? November 30, 2021, figure4online.com/wrestlingobserver.com. What's happening there, old Granny?
Not too much. A few changes around here.
Oh, yeah? There's one big change I know of because I did it.
I know.
Why don't you tell Craig how what a handyman I was?
See? Put up my big screen TV.
Damn sure I did.
Me.
From scratch.
From scratch, you say?
Yeah, I got the glass panel of it. I put the electronics in.
The microchips.
I built it. The cathode ray tubes.
Soldering iron out.
It is Granny's TV after all.
That's
Took
true.
out the old TV, put the new one in, hooked up the cable. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Did you hang it on the wall or you just put it on something?
Put it on a fireplace.
So you just put it on something.
Yeah.
That's what she wanted, brother.
It's perfect.
Dude, she wanted it on the ground. She wanted it to be on the ground. And then when I put it on the ground, you know what she said? It's too low.
Yeah.
I said, well, it's on the ground.
I didn't want it on the ground. Come on.
Oh, get out of here. You said you wanted it low. So we put it low, and then the next thing you know, it's too low.
Well,
Now
when she falls, it's easier to watch that way.
So I raised it. Craig,
Perfect
please.
right now. Perfect.
It's exactly. It is perfect, isn't it, Granny?
Yeah.
Yeah, your grandson did a excellent job.
Yeah. Putting things.
Busted
that's-
out them tools.
Yeah. What'd you use,
Yep.
Brian?
Myself. Bunch of other tools as well.
Yes,
exactly.
yes, you're a tool.
Yep,
Yes, that's
yep.
true.
Thanks for ruining the joke, Craig. If there's one guy, Craig is like so full of jokes. Like, you could say anything and Craig's got a joke for it.
Yeah.
But if anyone else has a joke, he's got to kill the joke. You ever notice that?
You do the same thing.
I do no such thing. Are you kidding me?
Gosh.
Vinny's over there. He's beset with apoplexy. What did Vince say?
I beg your pardon?
Did you hear that line at the end of Raw? What? When Bobby Heenan was going crazy? I wrote it down here. Bobby Heenan is going crazy because Ric Flair has to retire. And Vince McMahon on commentary screams that this man is besieged by apoplexy.
No, I did not catch that.
That's what he said. I laughed
That's even
and
better than
laughed
beset.
and laughed.
Somebody should have a move called apoplexy.
The besieged by
Yeah.
apoplexy.
Well,
Yes, it was amazing. Well, we're going to talk about Raw 3 later, but Granny, what do we have today?
Same old questions.
Craig's getting eviscerated here on the chat for making a joke about Granny falling down at 92.
what are you talking
As he should.
Falling down what?
It's not important, Granny.
Yeah,
it's not important.
almost like you didn't need to bring it back up.
Well, I mean, everyone here is all angry about it. I'm trying to acknowledge the chat. What do we got, Vinny?
Questions for all.
That's easy.
A lot of them, apparently.
You monster, this person writes here.
Carmine the Very wants to know if any of us are going to watch the Beatles documentary.
No.
No, it's way too long.
I'm one into it.
Granny, do you like the Beatles?
Yeah, I might watch it.
You got time.
can't.
You got the time. You can hook her up with Disney Plus.
No,
I
I
can-
can't.
If I can find it.
Dude, she's got basic cable.
She has a computer.
I could probably hook her up with Disney Plus on the computer, but then she'd be watching a bunch of Disney shit.
Oh, no.
who
She'd be
wants-
happy all the
Who
time.
wants to do that? You want to watch a bunch of old Disney shows, Granny?
Sometimes.
Aha.
All right, I'll set it up if you want. I'm already on her nice list, so I may as well keep it up. Craig's on the naughty list. Go ahead, Vinny. Next.
Lubomir Tryanov.
Excuse me?
What it says.
Don't care.
What's your favorite
Lubomir
fruit?
Tryanov?
Lubomir.
How in the hell have we never heard this name before?
Tryanov.
That's a new
Labomir.
one.
No, Lubo.
Lubomir.
Lubomer?
No, not Lou Boner.
Bomer.
Unusual.
He wants to know what your favorite fruit is.
Bananas.
Bananas and peaches.
Ironic.
Fucking wrote itself.
That's amazing.
Wrote itself right there. This is the easiest show.
David O'Neill wants to know if you have ever watched a game of rugby before. If so, what did you think?
No.
Right. Dalen.
That questions are for you guys.
That's
too.
what she thought when she watched it. No.
Dalen Prada wants to know what is the worst Christmas gift you ever received.
I know the best one she ever received, that fucking TV right there, right, Granny?
That's not a Christmas gift.
Kind of is.
Okay.
A stretch belt.
A stretch belt.
A what?
A stretch belt. Was
It's a stretch belt.
You know, a belt that stretches. Elastic
Sure.
one.
That totally defeats the purpose of a belt.
Whatever. That's what I
Does it
got.
not? Am I wrong? If your pants are loose, you want to tighten them with a belt. But you're going to put a belt on that stretches? That doesn't make any sense.
Whatever. I got it.
My father was notorious for getting names embroidered on clothing. So he would, buy something and then, I had a Letterman's jacket. Yes, okay. So
Sure.
I got a Letterman's jacket. He takes it. He gets it
For
all
what
done up.
sport?
Football, Brian,
I guess you could kind of be the
and also wrestling.
field. All right, anyway, so then you embroidered your name on it.
Right, which was nice. But then, he would
Corrosion.
he would he would do it on other things too, satin jackets and stuff like that. This was the 80s.
Satin jackets.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyway, long story short, he would never make sure they fit before he put your name on them. So then you couldn't even take it back because it had been ruined by somebody putting their son's name on it. So it's just, yeah.
You know, I always
Pop.
like when people make poor fashion choices, but then they have the excuse that, it was the 80s. There's no
Brian, it
excuse
was-
for wearing a satin jacket or having a mullet. And this is
Tell
coming
that
from
to
a guy that
FDR.
had a mullet.
Brian, it was the style of the time. Get it off.
A satin jacket?
Brian,
I was around in the
Brian.
80s.
Come on, Brian.
watch FTR and ask me, and then tell me when they wear satin jackets.
If we're
which is
looking
all the
for,
time.
if we're looking for fashion advice from pro wrestlers, we got a big problem here.
Oh, Brian.
Satin. Yes, Vinny.
Nigel Chapman wants to know, Granny, if you are front row to see The Undertaker versus Bryan, Vinny, and Craig in a 1-on-3 handicap match, who are you cheering for?
Undertaker.
All right.
Thanks.
That makes sense.
Aaron Maddox wants to know, in honor of the Olympics coming up, what will be your favorite Olympic sport?
Never watched the Olympics.
You've been around for 92 years, and you've never watched the Olympics, Granny.
Not very much. Maybe a little bit, but not a lot.
What'd you like when you watched it?
Oh, gosh, I can't remember. It's been so long ago.
Can't remember any sports?
The ones where they flip, whatever that one is.
The ones where they flip.
What, they run and flip over, over the board or something like that.
Like Brian used to do.
And gymnastics.
The high
Yeah.
jump? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. Vinny could not figure out what she was talking about. The one where they do flips? You thought high
What do
jump?
you do run and flip over the bar and hide to the Fosbury flop?
That's not a flip.
What do you run and do a flip over in gymnastics? The vault?
You run on the ground and
She
you do
said
a bunch of
flip
flips.
over something.
You do a flip on every single apparatus. You do a flip over the vault.
I think the vault is the one she was talking about.
Name one apparatus you don't do a flip on.
Name one apparatus you do run on.
The vault.
There you go, then. That's what it was. We've solved the mystery.
I'm still baffled that when she mentioned flips, you thought pole jumping.
Because it was high
or
jumping.
high
Brian.
jumping. It's pole
Because she
jumping.
started with running, which I don't think of when I think of gymnastics.
Well, you don't watch enough gymnastics, brother, because it's all running.
I watch plenty
You
of
run on the
gymnastics.
floor. You run on the vault.
Let's see. Brandon Powell wants to know something your parents did that embarrassed you so much.
I don't have anything on that one.
Your parents never embarrassed you?
Never, never.
Wow. Well, I've never embarrassed my children.
I remember some of my buddies came to pick me up one time, and we were going out for a night of debauchery. And as we were leaving the house, my mom, with all my buddies and me leaving the house, my mom yells, "Craig, you should grab a jacket. It's chilly out." I never, ever heard the end of that.
Jorge Vasquez wants to know, if you're having a bad day and simply want to laugh out loud, what is your go-to?
This show.
What was that again?
If you're having a bad day and simply want to laugh out loud, what's your go-to?
Oh.
What makes you laugh, Granny?
Something on the computer, I guess.
Something on the computer.
Like,
A virus?
no, a comedy show.
Comedy show on the computer.
Comedy makes her laugh.
All right.
Yeah, comedy show.
Joseph Callahan Augustus Daly II wants to know, what is your favorite sea creature?
It always feels like Jeopardy when you read these questions.
Of course, it has to be a whale.
It doesn't have to be a whale. Is that your favorite sea creature?
Well, if I don't, I'll be in trouble.
No, you won't. I don't take stuff out on people, Granny.
How about shark?
That's fine. That's a cool marine mammal.
It's a sea creature.
Or animal, at least. Yeah. It's a sea creature. It's a creature of the sea. Yeah.
Corey Smith wants to know, what would you get Bryan, Vinny, and Craig for Christmas if you had an unlimited amount of money to spend?
Same thing she gets us now.
Nothing.
Yeah,
All right,
nothing.
It's fine.
All right.
By the way, I want you all to hear that when Granny complains that I got her nothing for Christmas.
I don't want anything. I don't need anything.
Well, that'll make it easy then, won't it, Granny?
Yes. Then I won't have to wait.
Okay. Brian's going to be mad at reading this one.
She got a guilt trip out of that, Brian. That was amazing. That was some Jedi guilt tripping right there.
Sorry.
So I'm skipping a bunch of questions this week. Skipping to this one. John Tab Somerville. Mrs. Gibson, what are your thoughts on Dave Grohl, the Vincent Verhey of Nirvana?
What?
I don't. He wrote it, not me.
What the heck is that?
The one with all the talent in the trio, he explains.
Huh.
Yeah, I've never drawn that connection myself.
No.
I just wanted to read it. Adam Hong. For some reason, let's say the other members of the B&V show had to wear an animal costume along with Brian's orca costume for a show. Which animal costume would suit Vinny or Craig or Granny the best? Bear. A very grumpy bear.
I can't think of anything.
Granny.
You guys
Bro.
think. You guys
Okay,
think.
Granny, listen to me.
What would I be wearing
Vinny
what?
and Craig need to wear a costume when doing the show, an animal costume.
Okay.
Pick an animal for Vinny and pick an animal for Craig. It's not a quiz.
A donkey and a monkey.
Okay.
Dibs on monkey.
A monkey and an ass.
That's fair.
I'd be a clown.
Not an animal.
Well,
Oh, that's right.
Kevin Arazo wants to know, why does nobody correct Brian when he mispronounces kerfuffle? He adds an extra L for no apparent reason.
Nobody corrects me because nobody cares. Right?
somebody does.
That's true.
And besides, a kerfluffle sounds even better than a kerfuffle. A kerfuffle? I don't even believe that's the right word.
Johnny Stewart asks, besides Brian's fundraising methods, what's the strangest thing you've ever seen people do to raise money, and did you donate? Many, many years ago, I was driving into Seattle, getting off I-5, taking the Mercer Street exit, and there's a panhandler on the side of the road with a sign, and the sign reads, running for president, need campaign contributions. And I laughed out loud. I was actually going to give him cash, but the light turned green and I had to go.
I knew you were going to say that.
I can only tell you the truth.
Well, you know.
Well, you know, that reminds me.
Out.
It reminds me, everybody, if you go to my Twitter at Brian Alvarez right now, at the top, stickied, so it's easy to find at Brian Alvarez, the final Brian and Vinny co-host auction. This is it, everybody. This is it for the year. 3 of them have sold. There is 1 left. It goes through Saturday. You get to pick the show you want to join us on. You could do it Skype, Zoom, however you want to join us. Phone. We could put a picture up of Giraffe if you want to do it via phone. And maybe, if within reason, we'll also let you pick the show that you want to review. So if you want to co-host, Your biggest fan, Vinny, he's a big talker. How come he hasn't donated in bid yet? What's his problem?
I don't know.
Well, anyway, he can if he wants to. Head up to my Twitter right now. It's at 1825 right now.
That's why he's not bidding.
1825. You could bid 2,000 and get this spot potentially. So, thanks everybody who has donated, and a couple days left. So check it out at Bryan Alvarez. One more, Vinny.
Travis F. Adams asks, Granny, what is your favorite cup of noodles flavor?
Oh. I have some in my shelf, and I can't remember what it is. Mention a few.
Mine is the one where I
Beef.
don't actually eat cup of noodles.
I do, and I like the chicken.
Chicken. All right, there we go. That's your favorite flavor.
Yeah, chicken is my favorite. I
There
have
we
a
go.
bunch of those.
Well, this is one of those situations where I don't mind admitting that I am wrong. It is, in fact, allegedly kerfuffle. But I also am not embarrassed to say I don't care. I will still call it kerfluffle. Because who cares? Right?
Right?
Thank you, Granny. Go
There
ahead.
are way other things that you can complain about that you say. Bro.
Bro. You're more annoyed by bro than kerfluffle.
Yeah,
What about bloke?
I hate that too.
Too bad. Go ahead, Granny.
Okay, Friday Night SmackDown, tag team, Banks and Naomi versus Natalia and Baszler. Usual back and forth knocks, kicks and drop kicks and elbow chops, and Banks and Naomi win that one. Give that a 4. Then there was why do I have that down twice? I had that down twice. How
You must
about
have been a
that?
great match. You watched it again.
Oh, okay. Then I have Raw, November 22nd, Baylor versus Rollins. They started fighting before the ref got it started. A mad scramble at each other, fast moving. Baylor hits Rollins in the face with both feet. Elbow blows, side head kicks, back of head kick by Baylor. Rollins wins. Okay, then I have
Did you watch these on the big screen?
I don't remember what, I just go through that, and when it comes up that's something I might like, I just do it. Sometimes I don't even know where I got it.
Let me ask a question again, Granny. Did you watch these on the big screen?
I've watched it on my computer.
So no.
So you
No.
didn't watch them on the big screen.
What can I get on the big screen besides
you have basic cable. You could watch SmackDown on there on Friday nights at 8 o'clock.
I know, that's what I do. I watch that.
So you watched it on the big screen.
Oh, yeah, that's right, I did.
All right.
I just can't remember.
Did the last match get a grade, by the way?
Because I'm back and forth from playing Scrabble to watching this.
Sure, yeah.
So that's kind of
for
hard to
exercise from the TV to the
keep track
Scrabble
of.
on the internet. All right.
Okay, then I have Judgment Day. It doesn't have a time or anything.
Well, it's
Else,
Judgment Day. It's the end of time.
It's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Your time is up.
That's true.
Al Snow versus Merrill.
Your time is up.
Fuck, like that is the end of the world.
Okay, and it all.
That's not false advertising there, buddy.
Al Snow has a head of a woman's head, a statue of her.
Ahead of her head.
She did say statue.
It's got writing across her forehead like he has.
Okay.
So the body drop on Merrill, elbow chops on Al. Al drops Merrill on his head, jumps on him, a clothesline. They both did top off rope and missed. Al
It's
gave
funny if you think it's bone marrow.
Merrill a tombstone for the win. I gave that a 5.
Oh, 5.
What?
I'd have to watch that match again.
Then I saw a picture of
Al will be very mad that you only gave that a 5.
I saw a picture of Undertaker sitting in a tub of ice.
Fine review.
Yeah,
Would you give that 10? He was in the tub.
I didn't give it anything. I just wanted to let you know that I saw it.
Thank you, Granny.
Duly noted.
Yeah.
Okay, now
Get your pad out, Craig.
Now, this one here is one of Ed's. Potter
Oh.
Cress.
Potter.
Potter Wrestling.
Potter.
Let's see.
Not anymore. It's Potter now.
Nicole
Potter
Savage.
Cress.
Potter Tress.
Tress.
Potter Cress.
Thank you, Granny.
Okay. With Nicole Savvy versus Maserati.
Who?
Maserati and Nicole Savoy.
Yeah, I know.
You guys know those wrestlers?
Uh-huh.
Usual kicks, chops, and face kicks, sub holds, and Savvy, trained by Baszler. Let's see, who won that one? I forgot.
That's the whole review.
I didn't
You
put
got
it
to. She
down
was
there.
trained by, and then
Wow.
you give him a
And-
score.
And the announcers were so different. They didn't. They were talking about other things than describing the rope moves.
Oh man.
One guy
When you're
was the-
comparing unfavorably to the SmackDown announcers,
that they were even bragging about going to A&M or something like that, and they weren't talking too much about it. And then
You know who did commentary on that?
I would assume Ed.
They always
Yeah.
had the favorite talking about the favorite, not the other one. So
Sorry, other one.
sounds like a great show, Ed.
yeah, well, I thought I'd do that for him.
Oh, you sure did a lot for him there.
So I guess that's all I've
You
got.
sold literally negatives of tickets for the next show.
Okay. I have some notes here on Friday Night SmackDown. Let's see. There was.
Didn't we do this already?
Whatever.
I had some more notes, but
Okay.
I can't read them, so
right.
I'm done.
Okay, let's do the book.
Well, you know what? This book,
Yes.
no wonder they say it's for kids. It's really a kid's book.
I'm writing that down.
She figured it out.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
It's crazy that a kid's book is for kids.
Well, no, but why would anybody want kids to watch it?
That I don't know. That I cannot answer.
That's
When I go through looking for books for Paisley, the Undertaker book has not been on the list, I'm afraid.
all the rest of this we know. This is the Undertaker. The Undertaker's real name is Mark Calloway. Calloway is from Texas. He played basketball in school. He could have played pro basketball in Europe, but he knew he wanted to be a wrestler.
But did he have an embroidered satin jacket?
Of course he did. He was on the basketball team.
Mark.
Okay. And then it says, quite a character. The Undertaker's character was based on an Old West Undertaker. It was a big change from the colorful characters in WWF.
It was.
Calloway thought about what fans wanted. His music closed
Death?
and entrances changed over time. He stayed fresh. The Undertaker stayed popular for more than 25 years.
It's but one page. Oh,
Yeah, there's a lot of information on this one page, Granny.
Well, these are two different little things.
Oh, I see. Okay, it's sidebar.
Yeah,
I
so
got
I'm done with that. I don't have too many pages left even.
Oh my God! This
a
is
minute.
for
One.
kids age 4.
3,
3.
Oh, she's counting pages.
I see.
4.
Good thing you sprung for that library bound
There's
book.
still quite a few, and one
I'll auction it
one whole
someday.
page of
call.
something. Where back here there's one page of little stuff, another page of a little stuff, and so it says here the Undertaker is a mysterious character. He usually doesn't do interviews outside the WWE, and it shows him putting the arms across the guy's chest, and he's on top of him with his tongue hanging out. Isn't that neat?
So
Yeah.
neat. So neat.
Sounds awesome.
That's it.
That's it, everybody.
I'm
Wow.
done for another week.
You made it another week, Granny. Excellent job. I don't know how you did it, to be honest.
Oh, thank you, because I always wait till the very last day. But
Because
now,
it takes days to do this job, right?
now that I have my big TV, I have changed a lot of things. I've changed my sleeping. I go to bed earlier so I can get up and watch my soaps on big screen. But there's a drawback. If I watch it on the computer, I don't have to have any commercials.
It's true.
And if I watch it on TV, but then I can get up and get a cup of tea or something like that for the 5 minutes.
Sure, yeah.
So that works out
Those
good.
commercials, yeah.
And I had changed a bunch of furniture to go around it.
You mean I changed a bunch of furniture to go around it?
Yeah, so that's about it.
Yeah, move some furniture as well.
Had a fun Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's a very exciting Thanksgiving, Granny.
Okay.
It's really fun using those tools the whole time I was there.
Yeah, you had
Not
my
eating any food.
You had my Phillips head screwdriver.
I did. Thank God that Phillips screwdriver was there because, you know.
I have a little bucket under my sink with all my tools in it.
Oh. All right.
I'm done.
All right. Well, that's it, Granny. You know what to do.
Okay.
Red 5 it.
Bye, everybody.
All right. See you next week, Granny.
Bye.
Adios.
We watched WWF Monday Night Raw, Season 1, Episode 3.
What a fucking
January 25th,
show.
1993.
We've reviewed this show before.
I'm sure we have.
And it'd be really fun if somebody could like mash the two reviews together because I don't remember what I said the last time, but I sure got a lot to say this time.
Yeah.
And I expected to be actually, exactly the same, but I do have some different things that I want to say. So let's get going. Let's talk about this first fucking match here.
Before the match, Sean Mooney is outside on the sidewalk where he is nearly killed by the Repo Man's tow truck. The Repo Man jumps out, promises to repossess Randy Savage's career, just like I did your hat, he screams.
This fucking guy's character drives around in a fucking Repo Man truck.
A tow truck.
A tow truck. Can you fucking imagine this shit? So anyway, they have a match. I just got to get to the match, okay?
Okay.
It is Randy Savage versus the Repo Man, okay? I want you all to close your eyes, and I want you to imagine the Macho Man Randy Savage versus the Repo Man. And I'm going to give you a few things to help with your imagination. They're given way too much time. Mm-hmm. They believe that they're working a house show in front of 300 fans and not on national television. It's fucking horrible. Am I missing anything?
It's very long.
That's what I said.
It needs to be repeated.
Here's the thing, everybody. Because I'm feeling like being a positive fella today. Okay? I fucking hated this match with every fiber of my being.
This is positive?
I'm going to tell you the positive thing I'm going to say, okay?
Okay.
I was just sitting, and I watch these shows on the treadmill, which is probably may not be good for my heart, because I start getting really hot with anger on top of the exercise. So I'm like just sweating my balls off watching this match, wondering what the fuck are these two fuckers doing? Like, I never saw so many fucking chin locks. Like, I think you could watch the whole run of Saturday night's main events all through the 80s, and there were less headlocks on all of those shows put together than in this fucking particular match here. Just one fucking goddamn fucking headlock after another laying on the mat. I'm so mad. And then I suddenly had what they call an awakening. And I realized that I am watching this match in 2021. And I just went down and watched New Japan in San Jose, a live show. And I watch AEW on Wednesdays and Fridays. And I watch New Japan Strong. And for whatever you want to say about the booking, I see good matches on Raw and SmackDown, even NXT every now and then. That Ciampa match with Braun Breaker, really good match. So I realized that because I watched this show with 2021 eyes, this match is a fucking boring-ass horror, okay? But if I take myself back in time, and I imagine I'm just a high school senior, and I watch one fucking show a week, and it's Monday Night Raw, and I don't watch WCW, and I don't watch Saturday Night or anything like that. I just come home and I watch my WWF show. I probably would have been just totally fine with this match. It was a wrestling match. They did a bunch of moves. Randy Savage did his big fucking elbow for the win. I would have looked at this totally differently back then than I do today. So in all fairness, honestly, the match was fine. It was a long match. There were a lot of rest holds, But, like, the Repo Man didn't do anything wrong. Randy Savage didn't do anything wrong. Ric Flair and Mr. Perfect botched more spots in the main event than these two guys did. We had a clean finish. The babyface went over. Like, I bitched about it, but at the end of the day, for what the guys were doing, God bless them, it was fine. Am I wrong?
Yes.
I'm not wrong, but go ahead and give
you
your
are.
opinion.
You are. So before the match begins, they're running down the card. I just want to mention they promised a Bushwhackers tag match. The card they promised was Kamala in action, the Bushwhackers, Randy Savage versus Repo Man, and Ric Flair versus Mr. Perfect Loser Leaves Town. So they're doing this match. And as you noted, they basically had a 2-minute match stretched out over 20 minutes. Repo Man, this all started, he stole Randy Savage's hat. So he's parading around in Macho's hat in the ring, and Vince notes, Repo Man looks a little ridiculous with that hat.
Yeah.
Because otherwise the pudgy guy, the tire track singlet, and the Zorro mask would be perfectly dignified. Speaking of strange looks, Rob Bartlett is getting closer and closer to just calling Randy Savage bald.
If Randy would have heard that, he would have killed him.
He mentioned his flesh-colored beanie, and then said, if my hair looked like that, I'd be wearing a hat too, which Vince took that comment and said, oh, you're talking about the Repo Man then. Trying to save Rob Bartlett's life.
Vince knew there could be a gun nearby.
And Heenan just asks Vince, where do we get this guy? And I'll try to mimic Vince's tone as best I can, because it's a tone I've never heard Vince McMahon use before or since, but he just drops his guard and says, I don't know, we just grabbed it coming off the subway. That's where they got Rob Bartlett.
You know why this happened, Vinny? Because there was so much nothing happening in this match.
Oh,
they
Brian?
had to talk about something.
This brings me to the second half of the match after the commercial break. So Bartlett's making jokes about Jodie Foster, and Heenan just screams, what is he talking about? Bobby Heenan's head is full of Rob Bartlett after one segment, because usually this is Savage's job, but he's wrestling tonight. So Repo's got some hold on him, a sleep or a half grab, I don't know, it doesn't matter. Savage gets the ropes. He reaches out with his hand, and he grabs the rope with all 5 fingers wrapped tightly around the rope. Nothing happens, and he's just there, and time passes. Because you see, this match is so boring, the referee in the ring fell asleep. Eventually, he gets over and breaks up the hold. The announcers are bored out of their minds. They're talking about the presidential inauguration. They're doing Rush Limbaugh imitations. And then Savage just hits the elbow and wins. This was awful.
Well, listen. If I have to be a not nice guy and blame somebody, it's all this fucking Repo Man's fault. Sure. Because as we learned watching World Championship Wrestling, this was every Randy Savage, and in the 80s as well, when we watched the Saturday Night's Main Event, this was every Randy Savage match. Sell, 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 hit a big move and hit the elbow and win. That was every match.
Yes.
And he did the same match here, but the Repo Man made it incessantly boring. There was one spot that I laughed at, where the Repo Man, Savage starts making one of his little comebacks during the incessant heat, and he goes to hit the ropes, and the Repo Man goes to hip toss him, and Savage just runs him over with a clothesline. Because I think in Savage's head, he was like, bro, this match has gone fucking long enough. Let's take this fucker home. So he starts making a comeback, and the fucking Repo Man like pokes him in the eye or something and cuts him off, and they go right back to the heat. I thought, oh my God, is this ever going to fucking end? And eventually it did. Big elbow. 1, 2, 3. Thank God it's over. That was a match.
I didn't write anything about this match. It was
nothing happened.
The funny thing.
Shinlocks.
The funny thing is that the only thing I really wrote is how Vince noted that the Repo Man looked ridiculous in the hat. And have you seen the Repo Man?
He's a strange-looking fella.
I feel like I just heard this.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's all I wrote about.
I mean, there's nothing else to say about this match, Brian.
I see.
It went 20 minutes.
You know what I noticed about this
boring.
match? What I noticed about this
Repo
match
wore a
is,
hat.
as Vince said, that guy looks silly in that hat. And I thought, have you seen him? He looks like the Hamburglar. That's what I got out of this match.
So this thing finally fucking ends.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, oh, great. Thank goodness. Anything else? Regret. I was filled with regret. Because out comes Kamala versus the Brooklyn Brawler.
Bro, this was better than the opener. You know what I like about this Kamala?
No!
Oh, Vinny, please. You're killing everybody here.
It was not better than the opener.
Oh, are you kidding me? It was short.
Was it?
Yeah, it was shorter than the opener.
I guess. It was shorter than the opener.
I think it was like 10 minutes shorter than the opener, actually.
Jesus.
You know what?
2 minutes.
I'm gonna being a positive kick here today. You know what I like about this Kamala?
Yeah.
He's the kind of guy I would like to have had a bad match with. Because, you know, some of you don't even know this anymore because his business has just changed so much. But in the old days, you would give your fellow workers a light handshake where, you know, you just barely touch the fingers. That was the handshake. And then, like, Kevin Nash came along. He was like, you men need to squeeze that hand. What the fuck is this light shit? And then everyone's, like, shaking hands hard again. But in the old days, they did the light handshake because you were part of a fraternity of light workers. You know, this isn't real. We're gonna work light. Man, you watch fucking Kamala, he moves light. Everything he did was light. Like, you could see by the way he walked and by the way he did anything that it would be the easiest match on the face of the planet Earth to have a match with Kamala. Would it be any good? No. But, you know, from my perspective, I'd rather have a really easy match where no one gets killed than like a good match where you get hurt. So I like this Kamala guy. But was it a good match? No, it really wasn't.
No, it's not.
It was poor.
So even though he's a babyface now, he's been saved by the Reverend Slick and the people, and we'll get to that.
His soul has been saved?
Apparently.
This savage?
By the Reverend.
Yeah.
It's a fucking dumb storyline.
So he's still doing the bit where he's a savage, and so he doesn't understand how to pin guys. So, I've seen it 1,000 times. He does the match, hits the splash, tries to pin them with their belly on the mat, and after a long mental struggle, goes to roll them over.
That was worse than 87 chin locks in the opener.
Yes.
At least the crowd. Here's why. You know, I'll tell you why, Vinny. Because in the opener during the chin locks, the people in the crowd are asleep and the fucking announcers are asleep. At least in this match, the crowd's all going like this, like, turn him over, Kamala! Like they were into it.
Because they wanted the match to end.
Well, I mean, they wanted the other match to end too.
So he does this spot where he's trying to pin the guy belly down, and it's not even the finish. And they keep going. He tries it again. He still can't figure it out. He keeps going. He does the splash, and now the guy actually is on his back, and he rolls him over to his belly. Fuck off! Fuck this! Fuck you! God!
Wow, Vinny. It was just a wrestling match.
Kamala finally turned him over and won.
Just a wrestling match on a show.
I'm not sure it was a wrestling match.
It was. Come on. It was entertaining.
No!
They did a couple of
Factually
holds.
untrue. It was not entertaining.
It wasn't entertaining.
Okay.
But they did some moves.
So Slick,
I think
thanks
we agree
to
on
people.
that.
There was a jumping chop.
There was
and
a splash, and there was a super kick.
He did
A very light splash, by the way.
A super kick that missed.
a big barefoot.
Sure, yeah.
So Slick thanks the people for the conversion of the Ugandan giant. You opened your heart to him, he says, and he has
That's
opened
how
his heart
this
to
works?
you. That's what he said. He warns Harvey Whippleman and Kimchi, stay out of the way, or he won't be responsible for what Kamala does. That's actually a very good promo by Slick.
Sure it was. Low bar here on this show today.
The fans, I don't know what this chant was all about. The chant was, "You are a man."
Yeah, because when Slick saved Kamala from Harvey Whippleman and Kimchi,
Okay.
they were calling him an animal and a beast.
I see.
And Slick told Kamala, "You are a man.
How did
Stand up
this
for
fucking
yourself."
shit not win worst promotional tactic of 1993? I guess I'd have to go back and see what won. Let me see what won there.
There's probably a lot of terrible things in 1993.
Anyway, babyface Kamala is strange.
It really is. It really is.
And babyface Slick, even stranger.
He was still good, though. I like Slick.
Oh, yeah, he's fantastic.
So it's the day after the Royal Rumble. The come-home show, I guess, from the Royal
Cactus Jack amnesia angle.
Rumble. That was terrible.
Fuck, the conversion of Kamala is 1,000 times more of a disgusting promotional tactic than Cactus Jack having fucking amnesia.
So this post-Royal Rumble report was basically Gene letting the people who didn't buy the show know the most important results. There were no photos, there were no videos, there were no promos. It's Gene Okerlund and his stellar tan just giving you the results.
It's as I remember, back in the day, they did the pay-per-view on Sunday, and then the replay would always take place on a Tuesday.
There were replays back then. I don't recall them actually plugging directly the replay, but yes, they wanted you to buy the replay, which is why they didn't show you everything.
My God, what a simple time it was back then. Think about the worst promotional tactics of the last few years, and then we go back to the mid-'90s, and we got Cactus Jack amnesia angle. Eric Watts gets pushed. Fake retirement of Ric Flair. Gene Okerlund ads on the hotline, and fake Razor and Diesel.
Wow.
Oh, the simple times of the mid-'90s.
So Gene explains the 500-pound Japanese superstar Yokozuna won the Royal Rumble, tentatively setting up a WrestleMania main event against Bret Hart.
Well, that happened.
Provided Bret Hart retains his title between now and then. Bobby Heenan unveiled Narcissus, Lex Luger. He sure to add, I'm not a big Lex Luger fan. I don't know when Gene and Lex would have bumped into each other before this point, but he says he does admit Lex looked like a big bronzed Adonis. And, of course, the 8-foot giant Gonzalez debuted in the Royal Rumble.
Fucking 8 feet.
Heenan at one point claimed he was 20'10".
May as well.
If you're going to say 8 feet, say 20. So that was it. That was the whole segment.
Gene was awesome in this segment.
Gene's always
He's
awesome.
such a fucking great,
Gene.
just an old school salesman. Like everyone raves about Don West because Don West was more of a sort of like an in-your-face, obvious salesman. Gene Okerlund was a fucking awesome salesman under the guise of a unbiased. Well, he was a little bit biased against Lex Luger.
He was
just a wrestling announcer.
I am not a big Lex Luger fan. He said.
Yeah, but he had to admit
He is a
he
big
looked
bronzed Adonis.
fantastic.
Yes.
Didn't Don West work on the Home Shopping Network or
he did.
QVC or
That is
something?
where they found him, yes. So we go to Ric Flair versus Mr. Perfect, and I actually thought to myself, my God, they're going to do this match, and then the Bushwhackers are going to follow them.
No,
That's not what happened. There were no Bushwhackers in the show. False advertising. So, so this is like a famous match, and like heralded as a like one of the great matches of 1993. And you go back and watch it, and it's a long match. It goes through 2 commercial segments, but everything up to that second commercial break is adequate. It's a 2-star match.
the first 2 segments of this match, I think they called this entire match in the ring from looking at it.
Sure.
And we were talking about how the announcers were bored in the opener. But in this particular match right here, they're about 3 minutes in, and Vince is starting to get pissed off.
Yes.
And he's talking about how somebody needs to do something here.
It's better being too defensive.
It's Ric Flair and Mr. Perfect, and they're going to go however many minutes they went, so they start slow. And they stand and they look at each other for a long time. And they do a lockup, and then they go back to the corner, and they do a slap spot, and then they separate, and they look at each other. And Vince is like, he wants his fucking shit to get exciting here. He's paying this fucking guy one more time, so let's get this shit on the road. So from there, it's like, it is, I don't want to say it was, you know what I would say? Every now and then I go, you get 2 guys, and it's impossible for them to have a bad match. Like, if they go in and try to have a bad match, it's still going to be, like, a fine match because they're both so fucking good. They can't possibly have a bad match. That's Mr. Perfect and Ric Flair.
Yep.
But the first 2 commercials, the first 2 segments that they did, if they had 100 matches, literally 99 of them would be better than this match. I can't imagine these 2 having a worse match, but it was still a good match because it's Ric Flair and Mr. Perfect. They fucking were botching spots. Mm-hmm. There was some spot coming off the ropes where they both didn't know what they were doing, and they just fell down. And so, like, I will give them this. The moment they fell down, they just went right to a chin lock, and they didn't panic. They didn't rush. They just laid there for a while. Right. And then they went to the next spot.
Flair was running off the ropes. Perfect went to leapfrog him, and Flair didn't duck.
Yes.
And so he just kind of collapsed and fell to the mat, and Perfect says, well, my arm's around his head. I'll grab him.
And it was also weird because there were at least 2 spots, and probably many more, but I noticed 2 of them, where Mr. Perfect was so clearly feeding Rick, and Rick didn't take the bait. Like, there was one spot where something happened in the corner, and Perfect turns around, and so his ass is towards Flair, and he just leans over and he puts his hands on his knees. He's waiting for Flair to do the chop block. Flair doesn't do the chop block. He just walks around to the other side of Perfect and then does some other spot. Then there's another spot where Perfect, he sells his leg, and he starts grabbing the rope and limping over by the ropes. And you know exactly what he wants. Flair kicks his leg, and he does the flip bump and lands on his head. Flair don't do it. So this whole match was just like, you could not have had a worse match between these 2 guys. But then after the second commercial break, it actually turned into a great match.
Yeah. But the last thing I want to mention about this middle segment here is there's a point where Mr. Perfect is doing the mounted punches in the corner, and for all the terrible things they do with the camera these days, I haven't seen this one before. They're filming this, and it's just like the guy. I think the guy was in the apron. He may have been on the floor, but it's just looking up at Mr. Perfect as Mr. Perfect rains down punches on Flair's head, and then the camera slowly rotates 90 degrees, and so now it looks like Flair is on his back, and Perfect is punching him, and it stays there. I don't know why they did that. So we go to a second commercial break, and I'm like baffled about how this match is merely there. And then the third segment, it's like 3 or 4 minutes of great wrestling. And Perfect is no selling, and they're just chopping the piss out of each other. And Flair's trying pins with his feet in the ropes, but he takes the big giant backdrop of death, or he goes for a backdrop, and Perfect grabs him by the head and hits the Perfect Plex out of nowhere to win. And like I say, these last 3 minutes were awesome.
It was amazing because the fans were up and down for the match. But man, as soon as Flair sent him off those ropes and put his head down for the backdrop, as soon as Perfect hooked him, this fucking place got on their feet because they knew it was coming. And he hits that Perfect Plex. And back in those days, you ain't kicking out of a finisher on Monday Night Raw.
No.
And he hit that Perfect Plex. 1, 2, 3. Flair got pinned. And you know what's the most amazing thing about this entire show? And I'm talking, I couldn't even believe my fucking ears from this company. They go to break and they come back. And Vince McMahon says, Ric Flair will be finishing up his weekend commitments, and then it's all downhill for him.
It's all downhill for
Which,
Ric
of course,
Flair.
talking about him going to WCW. But I was amazed that they were like, we've advertised this guy, and so we are going to give you what we advertised. Whereas nowadays, they could not possibly give a fuck less about whether they advertise something and deliver. It's like, we're just going to advertise shit. I couldn't even tell you how many times we're going to advertise a match for Raw. We have one thing advertised for Raw, and they don't do it. It's not like they advertise the Bushwhackers and 3 other matches, and then they don't do the Bushwhackers. They literally fucking will advertise one thing for Raw and not deliver. They don't give 2 fucks. They got your money. They don't care. Back then, if you bought your tickets to see Ric Flair this weekend, even though he has to leave the company, he's going to be there to give you your money's worth. I was stunned. What the fuck's happened to this place?
And the weirdest thing in this match is how Perfect ended up getting color. Rick whipped him into the turnbuckle, and Perfect hit the turnbuckle and then
Slid down the pole.
He threw himself back, and then basically his head was heading straight for the apron, and he tucked, and the announcer said he hit his head on the pole. I didn't see that, but he come up and he was bloody.
He went down that pole like a fireman, except upside down.
Upside down.
Yeah. Bad way to go down the pole, by the way.
Understood.
It was strange, but when you miss Mr. Perfect, you do whatever you want. There was a different spot in the match. It wasn't important, so you may not have even registered it, but I've seen a lot of guys get whipped into the corner, and they go like chest first, like Bret Hart, and bump to their back, or so you hit it with your back really hard, your feet go flying up, you bounce out and land on your back. Flair goes into the corner, back first, and then takes a front flip bump. Or is that Perfect?
Perfect did that, yeah.
Yes.
I've seen him do that a million times.
Well, he did it again.
I don't know
here.
why he does it. It's weird.
My favorite thing is when he gets his head thrown into the turnbuckle, and he'll jump up and with his feet will land on the bottom rope and then do a half gainer.
Yes.
And then do a flip in the air.
Yes. So that's it. There's no big post-match promo or angle or anything. Just the match ends and Flair's gone and Vince says it's all downhill. Stick around, folks. You'll want to see the match we announced for next week.
Boy.
So we go to
wait.
commercial. We come back for about 20 seconds and Bartlett's doing some jokes and Heenan's telling him to shut up or whatever. And then up comes a graphic, which I may never forget. Mm-hmm. Because, first of all, and I do stress, first of all, there's more. But first of all, the match is Typhoon versus Doink the Clown. Wow. Okay. Now, the key to this is, and it's it's visual, not verbal, but I'll explain. It doesn't just say Typhoon versus Doink the Clown, nor does it say Typhoon versus Doink with the clown in quotes. It's Typhoon versus Doink, open parentheses, the clown, close parentheses. I guess it's not so much his nickname as there are You may be confused as to which Doink we're referring to here. It's not Doink the janitor, nor is it Doink the politician. It's Doink the clown. I laughed at this. Punctuation humor tickles my funny bone.
My God, what a dork. I just thought it was... I laughed at the fact that we're going to see fucking Doink and Typhoon. That was much funnier than any punctuation, Vinny.
This can't be the main event.
Why not?
That's what they advertise. That's the one thing they
That's what
advertise
I'm
for
saying.
next week. Oh, you guys enjoyed Mr. Perfect and Ric Flair in a loser leaves town match? Well, wait till next week.
Yeah.
Doink the Clown will face Typhoon. That sounds like shit. I hope it picks up soon. Because it was a real down.
That first
real downer
episode,
today.
the first episode was very, very bad. The second episode was much better. And I thought we were good to go. And this third episode, man, I don't know.
I really wanted to like that Flair match, but it was just there.
The last 3 minutes was all you need to watch.
I feel like we gave up after Raw 3 the last time we tried this, so we got to keep going.
Got at least one more.
We got to get to Raw 4.
I've got to know if Typhoon can beat Doink the Clown.
Yeah, well, I'm sure Doink is going to beat him. Doink's getting a push.
That's true. He has a Mania match.
Typhoon is... I don't know what this guy's doing.
Suspect Typhoon's
right now.
done, yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, that's it. We're going to wrap it up. Head to my Twitter at Bryan Alvarez and bid on the Bryan and Vinny co-host spot. We got spots available. One left, and that's it. No more after this. So get your bids in now and join us here for all the fun. We'll be back on Thursday, AEW and NXT. Lots of shows on the front page. Check them out. That's it. We'll talk to you again after a while.
Good night.
Adios.